Hi, welcome back in. So sorry that I was not on yesterday. Yesterday we went through a vehicle accident and I took the rest of the day off and most of today off because I am extremely sore. Same with my daughter. My daughter and I were coming home from her extracurriculars and we were in standstill traffic and we were all just sitting there waiting to turn off on our lane when a car came through, cruising about 65 miles an hour and smashed into the truck that was behind me, and then the truck smashed into mine, and then I ended up skidding like 3 feet into the little Toyota that was in front of me. And it is such a blessing that everybody was able to walk away with minor injuries and everybody was okay. Even the person who was driving the vehicle that caused the accident, he was safe and sound. He was very young. He was probably 17, 18 years old. The rest of us, we all, came out with some bruises and some whiplash. And so I'm really sore today. So this video is going to be extremely short, but feel very, very blessed that everybody was able to just walk away from this incident and there was no loss of life. And I feel very blessed that things turned out so positive, even though right now in our country, things are not looking as positive as normal. So today we unloaded, I'm going to just add some clips in on this video. So we just unloaded 2 50-pound bags of potatoes, which I will be preserving those up this week, some purple onions, and I went and got about half a gallon. I want to say it's a little bit less than a half a gallon of honey to put onto our shelves and get that preserved away. But today I am extremely sore. So it's probably not going to be the longest video. It's probably going to be extremely short-lived, but I'm creating a list tonight so that I can go and get some of our pantry staples. I'm going to start off doing, at least a couple here and there each day, and then create you guys a video that shows like all the pantry staples that we use and monitoring all the different cells and where they are all at, especially if you're trying to prep your home. You want to continuously be prepping. Not all of us go out and spend $1,000 every time we go prep. That would be sure nice. I would really love that, but that's not in my budget, and I'm sure it's not in a lot of your guys' budgets. I am going to go also do a little bit of a haul with Dollar Tree, so you guys can find those, a little bit cheaper preps that you're looking for, because really, honestly, when you're prepping for anything, you can prep on a budget. Like you can prep on the smallest amount of dimes. It doesn't have to be an astronomical amount. And then as time goes by, you can start increasing. And it doesn't really necessarily mean that you're going to be increasing the price. So for me, I'm going to want to get at least a year's supply of flour. And so when I go and do that, it's not going to be like $400 for a year's supply of flour, because I go to Costco, which everyone's really upset about the Costco membership's weird. I buy a lot of bulk. I have a large family, so that's where I buy a lot of my food at. But it's like $12 for, a 50-pound bag. So I'm going to just continue to stockpile a little bit more of what I know that I used for this year. And then throughout the rest of the year, when you guys see me buy flour or anything like that, when I'm mylaring, that's actually going to our long-term food storage, not our yearly shelf. So we're going to be creating a lot of that. With the potatoes, I know that I'm going to be doing some dehydrated potatoes, some easy potato recipes that are just simple, and along with canning. And then this year, the last 2 years, I have really struggled to keep potatoes going well. So this year I'm actually going to probably put them in my garage, because it's a lot colder in my garage than it is in my basement, even though that's climate control. Because it needs good airflow and it needs to be a little bit colder. And now that we've hit our first official freeze, I know a lot of you guys saw that I was out in the garden in the middle of the night on some of those shorts. I have been processing food like crazy, even though I'm extremely sore right now. Right now in the dehydrator, we've got the parsley in. I'm just pulling the basil out of the freeze dryer. And then I'm going to start getting some of the potatoes ready to go into the freeze dryer along with eggs. I'm going to do like a scramble recipe. So if you guys want that, please drop that in the comments if you want to see how I do it's like a scrambled egg hash brown style recipe for a freeze dryer. If you don't, it's okay. No big deal. But right now I highly encourage, the Senate did their vote and nothing changed. Government shutdown is still full send. We know that there is about 2 million people working without pay, and some of them not being able to work at all with zero pay, along with now SNAP benefits are going to be affected. So this is the time, like, really think about what could happen with your own job if you're not reliant on SNAP benefits or you're not a federal employee. Make sure that you are prepping your pantries, because there's a lot of people out there that, they're going through their SHTF right now, and everyone's SHTF may be a little bit different. Some could be a job loss. And I know that there's a lot of people on the internet like mocking, like, okay, well, the government shutdown doesn't affect me. Well, ultimately it could end up affecting you, because they're probably going to hike prices up the same as they did during the pandemic. They're going to look at those prices on the food shelf and say it's supply and demand, and then they're going to want to increase those prices. And so that's going to end up affecting you anyways. This is a constant that we have seen for years, almost 2 decades now. When an item is a hot commodity, they want to increase that price, and then they really want to make, just the average person struggle, because they know that you'll pay the price. So for me, for instance, 100 pounds of potatoes for me cost $44. 44. It was 22 pounds. I went straight to the source, to the farmer. My potato plants this year, because we installed a new chicken coop, we had to bring a dozer on the side of the house, and I lost all my potato plants, which was pretty devastating. But at the same time, now it just cost me $42 or $44, and putting up at least a year's supply of potatoes, so that I'm not going to the store and I'm not dependent on the system of, if it's in season, of course, the price is going to be a lot less. But if it's not in season, they're going to increase that price. And right now, I feel like everybody is really struggling and suffering. And just make sure that you continue to prep, really focus in on your pantries. Right now, the government shutdown doesn't look like it's going to let up. So that means if you can put a little bit extra away just in case, because times are getting tougher, and it's the Hunger Games of 2025 is what I titled our last live at. And we're here. We're here. The Hunger Games of 2025. Everyone's selecting their district, whether they were a federal worker. You have TSA that is, they're questioning people on not wanting to have flights during Thanksgiving because they're not getting paid. And I don't personally blame them. When you have all these people being forced to work without pay, until you can put yourself in those situations, you don't fully understand it. We have soldiers that are without pay. Some are getting pay, and it's just a dumpster fire right now. So make sure that you really focus in on your preps. Whether it affects you or it doesn't affect you, it ultimately could end up affecting you. So don't think just because your pay isn't impacted by the government shutdown that it could not end up affecting you. Because, as I said, we're going into the Depression 2.0. And what happens in a depression? Massive layoffs. If companies aren't making their money, if the government is shut down, if the government's not making bids on roads, that could potentially affect construction workers, because if there's no bids on certain roads, you don't know how this could play out. This could play out in such a large, if it continues on, it could really become catastrophic. And so I hope you guys continue your prepping journey. Really make sure that you're stocking up on your pantry. I will be getting out some more recipes. I'm sorry that I'm really sore last night and today that I just hadn't made a video yet. I'm going to hope that the pain, I have a lot of pain in my neck and my back and my right shoulder. When that car hit, I did shield my daughter and I went like this. And so the impact of the car hit me pretty hard, but she's good. And that is such a blessing that my daughter is completely safe and sound, especially with how fast that car was driving. His car is completely totaled and it couldn't even move. But for those who had asked on a Jeep, on why I think a Jeep is an ultimate like prepper vehicle, or a lot of people were saying a lot of preppers were talking about Jeeps were really amazing. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a first-time Jeep owner, and the car in front of me was completely crunched in from the trunk, from me sliding into it. The car behind me that hit into me, it was a GMC like Sierra truck, squished. The car, it was an Acura that came in. Oh, that thing's totaled. But the Jeep drove away fine. Minimum cosmetic damage, minimum. It held up. It literally took an impact in being completely sandwiched in. And it was such a blessing to see. So not only is it great for off-roading and the ability to be able to add in different things onto your Jeep, like for me, different racks and different mounts, and being able to go on different terrains that I love to go on, especially with hiking and backpacking. The frame, it held up really well. And I had heard nothing but like bad things that it would get totaled, and it definitely did not get totaled. So here's for real metal in cars. I hope you guys have a great night. And as always, stay aware, stay prepared, and always have your head on a swivel. Make sure you continue to prep, because we're one fine line from everything snapping. So things are about to get a lot harder. Hunger Games 2025.